Hey everyone, it's Ryan Rice. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode. Does barometric pressure really affect fishing? Short answer is, it sure does. Stay tuned. I want to start doing some tips when I remember to do them on my videos for you guys, because based on some of the comments I've read lately, you guys like to hear the tips, how-tos, stuff like that to help you catch fish as well. And I want to be able to be somewhat of a teacher. I may not be the best teacher, but I want to be able to at least, hopefully you guys can learn something from what I'm saying. So the tip on this video is the barometer, or barometric pressure. There's a bunch of apps out there you can get, or like my watch has it, and you can see on the graph, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see that chart at the top there. See how it's sloping down? If you could see that. So the barometer is dropping. And when the barometer is dropping, let's say if you go back a few days and you gradually watch that barometer come down, and the day you go fishing like today, the barometer is still dropping. So that means that the fish should be active. They should be up shallow, they should be a little bit more aggressive and go after more of those faster moving baits. That's what we're hoping. There is some science to it when it comes to fishing. So when the barometer is dropping, that means that the fish should be more active and you should have a better day on the water. Now when the barometer is rising, for the past couple of days or even the day you're fishing and it's continually going up, that means that the fish will still want to eat, but they're going to go a little bit deeper. They're not going to be as easy to catch. So I'm hoping, based on that, me checking my watch, checking some apps I have, I forgot what the name of the app is. Based on that, I'm hoping I can go back to my power fishing, because the last month and a half probably now, it's been very slow. And they want a slow presentation. Now, I know it has to do with the spawn and the pre-spawn and post-spawn and, all that good stuff. I'm not sure where they're at here, because where I fish, a lot of places, it's not clear enough to really see beds. So they should be past that spawn right now. So hopefully the big girls come off their beds and they want to eat. So that's the tip, though, is the barometer, barometric pressure, get an app, check the weather, look at the weather channel, all that stuff, and just see what the barometer has been for the past few days, or if it's been steady, or if it's been coming down, or if it's been going up. You always want that pressure to be dropping, and the day you go fishing, if it's still dropping, it should be a really, really good day on the water for you. So that's our tip on this video. I hope it comes true today. I'm tired of fishing the Cinco and the worm. It's enjoyable. It's a relaxful day on the water. Over power fishing, your arm doesn't get as tired, but I'm looking for that really fun bite, that strike, that fight. Let's see what we can do today, guys, and let's go after it. And we are going to try as hard as we can to power fish today. If we have to, we will fall back to the old Cinco and the worm. I hope not. All right, guys. Well, I just caught a gator by mistake, so I'm not going to pull him in, because I probably can't anyway. Hoping the lure comes disattached, but I don't think so. Nope. He's coming at me. He's coming at me. Well, there went my crankbait. There went my crankbait. Well, that's not how I wanted to start the morning, losing a bait to a gator. Or a gator possibly coming after us. So we're going to leave this area in case he gets angry, since he's now hooked with a crankbait. I don't know where he went. He went down. That was my favorite crankbait too. It hit the water, it came up and grabbed it. He must have just been just underneath the surface. So we are now gonna have to retie on and move on. But like I said before, with the barometer dropping, today it should be scientifically a more active day. You know, the barometer's been dropping for the past 2 days and it's still dropping today. Since that's the case, I think I decided that we are gonna try some top water today as well. You know, we did just start off with the crankbait in a certain area that I know there's a brush pile and holds fish, but obviously with the gator there probably wasn't much fish. So we're gonna do some top water action right here in the shallow area and see if we get a nice top water bite this morning. So the baits I have tied on today, a nice little bait fish jump in there, obviously is the popper, crankbait, which I just lost. I had to tie another one on. I have a spinner bait, and of course I have all my other baits with me, and I also have the dreaded Cinco and the dreaded Ned. So if I don't catch fish actively today, I think I'm going to retire. Also too, the water temperature is back up from 67 back up to 76, so it's back to its normal temp. Alright guys, fish on. That's a stick. Well, the gator's right in front of us that I hooked before, and I can see the crankbait on him. I don't think I can get it back though. I don't think he'd be too happy if I got up to him and try to get my bait back, but it's kind of headed towards us, so we're gonna kind of go out and around him. Did change over from the crankbait to the lipless. This way I can control the depth of where the bait is going, and then the deeper water I can just let it go down and just do its fluttering as it goes down before I start reeling, just so I can adjust the depth myself over, you know, crankbait that runs, you know, 3 to 5, 4 to 6, etc. And I also like to stop like I'm doing now when I'm talking to you, and it flutters down, so that also grabs fish on the fall as well. We've been about an hour into it already, guys. Besides the gator stealing my crankbait, that's it. I mean, a bunch of fish blowing up on the surface, you know, small bait fish, crappie, stuff like that, but as far as the bass, it's been very, very quiet still. Ooh, that was a fish. All right guys, fish on. It ran at me, so it threw me off. And it's not a bass, it's a gar. He's got the line in his mouth. Surprised he hasn't cut it off. I've already lost the bait today. I don't need to lose another one. Not what I wanted. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this out of your mouth. Let's see, you got it pretty wrapped around there, buddy. Probably gonna have to do is cut the line. Like that. All right. Get you back. Get my bait so I don't lose that. Well, between the alligator guards and the alligator, I guess they're after me today. All right, buddy, I cut that line so you can actually open your mouth up, so don't bite me. There we go. All right, guys, a gar. I'm not picking him up. Get out of my net. All right, see you later. Adios. I felt the strike when I did that too, and it just I don't know, came at me so fast I didn't think I had a fish on. All right, so the alligators and the alligator gars are active. Where are you bassies? You guys got to be more active too. Let's go. Hello there, Mr. Gator. I'm going after my bait. I already lost one to you guys today. Let's get away from me. Much as I don't want to, probably before I leave this area, because I don't want to leave fish to go catch fish, is I am going to work along the bank with the Cinco and the Texas rig worm just to cover to make sure that this area is not holding fish, and I'm just missing them with the lipless. I just don't want to leave this area if there's fish here. So I will follow up with the old soft plastic. Alright guys. Not what I wanted, guys, not what I wanted. Again. Sharp little hooks, I can tell you that much. Alright, not what we wanted. Alright guys, fish on. Alright guys, well I guess they're active. They're just holding the bank still. So we'll probably cover it with the worm a little bit. Not a bad size. Probably put them about 15, 16. Yeah, kind of just threw that right on his head. Let it sit for a minute and we'll go to the reel end, and I felt the pressure. All right, 15 1/4. So like I was saying, I didn't want to leave fish if they were here. You know, I was kind of fishing off the bank, but it seems that they're still holding on to the bank right now. So we may change, you know, when we're in a little bit deeper water, we may just fish the bank. I'm probably gonna stick with the worm. I was thinking about throwing a jig on, but I think I'm just gonna stick with the worms on the bank. I'm only about 2 hours into fishing, so you can tell from the last trip I was out, you know, with the barometer dropping, it is getting the fish a little bit more active. You know, I didn't catch that many bass yet, but I did catch an alligator gar. I caught an alligator, and I caught that white bass before too. Fish are a little bit more active. Getting some nibbles. But I did go with the mag fatties because I wanted a little bit bigger of a worm on there. And I'm just hung up. At least I think I am. Yeah, I'm just hung up on a branch there. But we were getting some nibbles on it. Let's see if we can get it out. Yeah, we got it out. You know, I think the fish are still more active than last time, obviously, but they may still just want soft plastics, which is not a big deal. As long as I can do like the Texas or something that can move a little bit faster. You know, Cinco's not a horrible thing, but it just seems like they don't want to come out, you know, like away from the cover. So obviously if I got hung up, I was going over a little bit of a tree that's underneath the ground there, a little bit of branches. Obviously that's where the fish was nibbling. So he was hiding in between all those branches of that down bush or down tree branch there. So he was tucked up in between. That's why I got hung up. You see a little bait fish jumping right there, so definitely a lot of activity today. Ah, he let go. All right, guys. Well, I thought I had him. I figured he might have moved to the other side of the bank there. And he had it in his mouth and dropped it after that came off. All right, well, they're here, so I'm not gonna leave just yet. What we're gonna do before we leave this area, because this is like a channel that's about 10 feet deep in the middle, and it just kind of goes right up to the bank. So what we're gonna do, I don't know if you can see, there's a shade line the whole way here, all the way down this channel. All the way down the bank there. We're gonna fish that shade line all the way down on the way out with a Texas rig worm. Then we'll move probably back to a little bit shallower water, try the lipless. But before we go to the shallow water though, I may make another stop at another cove. Alright guys, fish on. Bigger, pulling some drag. Oh yeah, that's a nice one, guys. That's a nice one. There we go. Got some weight to it. It's probably about 17. Maybe, I don't know. Just a little chunker. All right, guys, 16. Got a nice little belly to it. I think I'm going to stick with the Texas rig worm and fish tight to cover. Seems that's what they want. I think that's what we're going to roll with today. Threw that bait like literally on the bank and brought it into the water. But you can see I'm fishing that shade line. You know, the shade line is actually a very important cover for bass, believe it or not. They like that shade more than they do baking in the sun all day, you know. So fish your shade lines around your trees, around your bushes. Trust me, the fish will be there. All right, so we did numerous passes along that same bank. We got that one fish there. Thought we'd get a couple more. But the wind was blowing us pretty hard, so we might have been moving a little bit too fast. You know, even though it's not super power fishing, the Texas rig is still power fishing in a way to me, because it's still quick moving. You can do accurate casts with your bait caster, and you can still cover a lot more water than you would with the Cinco, because you're waiting for it to, you know, sink. All right, guys, fish on. Oh, I lost that one. All right, we're gonna do a quick follow-up with the Cinco on that. One thing I did too, though, is I did turn off my fish finder, so there's no signal being put out from the transducer, since I'm just bank fishing. You know, people say that puts out signals that could, you know, deter the fish from biting and stuff, so we turn it off when we're just bank fishing and we're not really looking for underwater structure. All right, guys, fish on. Come here. That's why I tighten the drag down, because after losing that last one, it's got some scar marks on them. Now let's hook myself. Now we know how they feel. How the hook it? Was it through the net? Shouldn't be. I think it is though. They're all about the same size. Let's see what we got on you there, pal. All right, 15 1/4. Still nothing huge. All right, guys, fish on. Once again, not too big at all. Probably only 12 inches. I think I'm going to change up rods, because I'm not using the actually right rod for this. And that's why it seems like it's more of a struggle to bring the fish in, because it's only a medium. I got to change over to my medium heavy. I have my spinner bait tied onto it, which obviously I'm probably not going to use today. So I guess I better change rods. This way, if I do get a big one, I have a better odds of bringing them in and not losing them. All right, fish number 4 at 12 1/2. It's always nice seeing, you know, you got father and the son in front of us, and the father's towing the son back with his kayak. But it's nice that he's, you know, getting him out in the water already. He looks probably about 6, 7 years old, maybe 8. But it's nice seeing that, you know, having the, you know, the next generation being out in the water, and the father taking them out to teach them. We were excited to take our little buddy out as soon as he's old enough. So I just had 2 quick strikes, 2 different spots, but I ripped it out of their mouth. I think they were just small. All right. There's a nice one, guys. There's a nice one. This is why I'm glad I changed my rods. It's not a bass. It's a big bowfin. I thought it was my personal best. It's almost out of his mouth anyway. Come on, let go. Here I thought I had my 23-inch bass, guys. And it's a bowfin. Nice bowfin though. It's got some weight to it. Will you stop moving? Almost had it. All right, guys. Nice bowfin. Get him out. Get out of here. Well, you probably just woke up the whole neighborhood now. Hopefully I didn't scare too many fish away. Much as I saw it, I really thought it was a bass. You know, I saw the white of the head there and I really thought it was it, but no biggie. There's the best fisherman of all. You see the birds like that? I mean, just bait fish there. He's peeking. Ripped it out of his mouth. Big, just came off. He just came off. Wasn't a big one, it was very small, probably about 10 inches. All right, guys, fish on. It's probably the small one I missed before. It's fish number 5. Oh, that's bass number 5. Let's see how small you actually are. He's probably gonna flop out of the boat anyway. Almost as dead. Come on. Woo! Hip hop, skippity skop-a-doo. You done? What do we got here? Whole whopping, what do you think, 10 inches? Maybe we get 11 out of him. So what I'm actually doing the rest of the year too is I'm documenting all my fish and actually what day I caught it on. 11 inches. Can't really say, such a beautiful day. You figured there'd be more people on the water. They're just starting to show up now, I guess. Good time to come. Get that afternoon bite. All right, so you can see that barometric pressure does affect the fishing. I mean, we caught so many different species today. It affected every species, including the alligator. You know, that's rare that I actually get an alligator to chase after an actual crankbait or any of my bass baits or any soft plastics. It's probably only the second time I've actually caught in a gator. I've caught in like a 3 or 4 footer before, but that was it. I mean, that was just another, you know, rare thing too. So, you know, that barometric pressure affected all species of fish today. It affected everything. And you can see that the fish did not want to still chase the bait though. They still wanted basically that worm plopped right in front of their face, but when it did get plopped in front of their face, they went right after it. You know, I lost a few today, you know, ripping it out probably prematurely and losing the fish, but not a big deal. You know, we still got our 5 fish, we still got our limit, if that's what you want to call it, for kayak fishing, so we're happy about that. You know, we're gonna be documenting all of our catches moving forward. You know, the day I caught them, the lengths, the quantity, all that stuff. So I'm gonna start keeping a record of that, just for my own personal knowledge, and you know, at least I know when I come back to a certain body of water around the same time how the fishing was. I probably should have started this sooner, and it probably would help me with fishing as well too, but we're gonna start documenting our fish. We're gonna measure all our fish and everything else except for like the gars and stuff, because I've been bitten by a gar before. I don't want to be bitten by a bowfin. You know, it's not worth for me to take a picture with it or measure it. I got it on video. I don't need to hold it up because they got teeth, you know. Pickerel I don't mind, but the gars they're so fine, and the bowfin are just so, you know, they just flop around. I don't want to put them in my hand. It's not worth it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You can see though that barometric pressure affects everything. You know, it brings the body of water alive. And like I was saying before, you can get apps. Look back on your weather channel and just see what the pressure is like the day before you go fishing, or a couple days before you go fishing, and see if it's on the rise or see if it's on the fall, or if it's holding steady. If it's on the rise, they're going to be a little bit more finicky, and you're going to have to downsize your bait to catch those fish, and they're also going to go a little bit deeper. When the barometric pressure is dropping like it did today, and it's been for the past 3 days, you can still see they were shallow for the most part, but they were holding tight to cover, but they were a lot more aggressive than the last time I was out here. And it's been, you know, our barometric pressure has been all over the place. You know, we haven't had a steady, basically, weather pattern down here in the south. It's been hot, cold, rainy, windy. You know, the pressure's been all over the place. So fishing has been tough because of that. So I knew today would be a little bit better of a day, and it was. Still didn't get the big fish that I'm after. You know, I'm still after that 23-inch fish. I'm going to keep saying it till I catch it. Then we'll move on to maybe a 23.5 or a 24. We'll see. It was a fun day on the water. We really enjoyed it. Next weekend, I do have to work the Lake Chickamauga event for KBF, so I'm going to have a couple weeks without fishing, but I'll try to get some other content out in the meantime to hold you guys over. But hopefully, you know, giving it like a 2-week break, see how things change up. Maybe those big fish will come back out, and we, you know, I don't care basically how I catch them at this point. I just want those big fish. You know, if I have to still work the soft plastic, I will. You know, if they're going to start coming back after the lipless and crankbait, that's great, and I can cover a lot more water. As always, guys, I appreciate every one of you. Be safe on the water, and I'll catch you guys on the water. Thanks for watching.